Hey there. Hi, everybody. How are you? Hey, it's good to see all of you guys here. I'm noticing coming in from Australia, Kansas City. Yeah, chilly in Chicago. A big storm headed over this weekend. I'm not a weatherman. I did want to be a weather girl, I will tell you that. But that was my secret fantasy, being a weather girl. Meteorologist, let's say it for real. I know. So please stay safe and check on your neighbors. Okay, please do that. I think there's going to be a lot of icing in the southeastern U.S. that there may not be used to in towns that don't have snowplows and things like that. So just be careful. Okay, everybody, be careful. This is also a big time for. I wanted to do this live today because the 23rd through January 23rd through about the 28th of January is going to be crazy. I just want to say to you that not all of 2026 is going to be crazy. Not all of it. This is the most intense time. This time now through, well, January 3rd through the eclipse in February, and then things settle down. April, off the hook. July, off the hook. Okay. But after that, things settle down depending on what we choose. So this is our choice of what to do with what's happening. So I just want to take you, I'm going to do a reading in a second here. January 23rd, today, Mars enters Aquarius and the sun is conjunct Pluto. I talked about this with my astrology group yesterday. Sun conjunct Pluto. The sun is the core of our identity, and it is shining its light through Pluto, the planet of power, in Aquarius, which is about progress. Where does power come in the future? That's something that we get to choose, and we will be choosing. So this year, there might be a lot of things happening, and you might notice this in your own body, that things that maybe used to not be conscious for you are now conscious. Fears that, maybe having like some fear or some anxiety about something, and you have this insight. What I think we're going to see a lot through Aquarius season is insight, aha moments. Next week, we have Neptune entering Aries, and on the 26th and on the 27th, Mars conjunct Pluto. Put a little circle around that date for yourself next week. All of these major aspects are really asking us to evolve. I know that's super basic, but that's really it. So if you're feeling out of your comfort zone, just know there's no change without a little uncomfortableness. So the desire to be comfortable all the time is something that doesn't lend itself to change. And if you're manifesting change, or you want to shift into where you want to go, there might be some uncomfortableness. And it's kind of like a great way of thinking about it. I woke up in the middle of the night. With some anxiety. And it's because I've done different kinds of videos for the channel. I did this Leo, the Leo full moon video was really about what were you manifesting last year during Lionsgate, because now the culmination of that is happening. Okay. And I went through all the zodiac signs, all the rising signs. So if you want to go catch that, I just posted that yesterday. And I had some anxiety about it, because I was like, oh, that's something I usually do on Saturday morning. I usually do the full zodiac Saturday morning, but I felt called to do it. And then today I'm going to do some different stuff for Saturday morning. So I was like, all right, like anxiety can be just signaling that things are a little uncomfortable. So being able to sit in something that's uncomfortable just means you're growing, just means that this is new territory. Okay. Like these are good stories to tell yourself. These are good ways of talking to yourself, instead of like, oh no, something terrible is going to happen. No, absolutely not. It's time to ground yourself and consume media that doesn't unground you. Okay. Don't be completely head in the sand about things. Things are crazy. I highly recommend Heather Cox Richardson. She's an American historian. She's wonderful. She lives here in Maine. There's a lot of cool people that live here in Maine, and she's one of them. And she is kind of amazing. So I definitely recommend her channel. She's very grounding and has a big perspective in terms of historical ways of looking at the current situation. So I recommend that. All right. So let's see what's going with the reading. But just remember today with the Sun conjunct Pluto, this is about power and how you view your own identity in relationship to power. Are you dominating and controlling a situation because you have anxiety? Are you feeling controlled by somebody? And to be able to pull back, I think this is one of the things that Aquarius season teaches us. Pull back and see the bigger reason for things, right? If something happens and you have a little argument with somebody, what's it showing you? What's it mirroring to you? Okay. So I highly recommend doing something like that right now. It's going to be like very grounding. Okay. To really understand the patterns of things. Okay. Let's see where we're going today. Yep. Here we are. Stormy. No argument there. Divine masculine underneath there. So I'm going to take that. Check this out. Karmic path. Release. Oh, yeah. Wow. Divine feminine energy. So we have, for those of you who don't really follow twin flame, this is maybe not, doesn't have anything to do with twin flame. You all have masculine and feminine energy inside you. And so there was a comment the other day, like I was talking about masculine and feminine energy. And right away, the comment was like, why does it always have to be a love reading? And I'm like, okay, it doesn't. It doesn't, right? Part of how readings work, one-to-one readings or readings like this, where y'all are here with me, all your energy is here. And you're a participant in this energy. If you weren't here, the reading would be different. Okay? And this is, again, like wow, this is kind of a story about power, about like understanding your own power in the situation of the reading. This is why everybody says, including me, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because that's your part of the reading. That's for you. Okay. So I'm just saying that for anybody who's new here. If you're new here, hi, like that's how tarot readings work, whether it's just you and me personally, because sometimes, I remember doing readings where there would be messages coming through before I could really sort of navigate what was in the room versus what was happening around the room. And the person would be like, yeah, I don't think that's me or whatever. And I'd always be like, oh my God, I just screwed that up. But now I realize like the resonance is the part of the reading that makes it most personal, right? It's your energy. All right. I'm just being directed to show you what I'm showing you. The Chariot is here, Cancerian energy. The Emperor, more masculine energy. King of Cups, more masculine energy. 8 of Wands and the Knight of Wands. And we have the 6 of Wands. Okay, so yesterday, and the Moon. Yes, the Moon. So when I did that reading yesterday about the Leo full moon, it is 13 degrees of Leo, and that's the second decan of Leo. And that relates to the 6 of Wands in the tarot decks, and it's ruled by Jupiter. So this is about victory, right? You got to keep that in mind, that if you can just say to yourself during stormy times, everything is always working out for me, or this is happening for my highest good, even though I can't see why. So there's something here about masculine energy that's happening for our best and highest good, personally and collectively. And it has to do with going toward victory. So there's some archetypes here that are interesting. The Chariot is another card of victory. Okay. And the Emperor is obviously, leader of a group of countries. Otherwise they'd be a king or a queen. an emperor has a lot of countries, okay? And the King of Cups is here. This is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's actually Cancerian energy, most pronounced. Knight of Wands is Sagittarius. So there's a lot of different kinds of archetypes here. Aries is about power. Well, power in terms of your own identity, about taking action. Cancer is about what makes you feel nurtured, about how do I take action, the king energy, on what makes me feel nurtured. This is the aha moments I'm talking about. So it's likely there are a lot of divine masculines getting a lot of aha moments. And also, if you're not, sort of identifying as a masculine, we're not talking about gender, we're talking about your energy. If you're getting a lot of aha moments, your masculine energy may be getting healed or something along those lines. And so you can take action. If you've been having a hard time taking action, this is something that is required. It's almost like spirit is getting through some kind of resistance. And the resistance has to do with feelings. Like, I'm not really good at feelings. I don't really know. But the King of Cups is here. So there's something that's being added, right? You got a couple of Cancerian cards here. And then the moon is Cancer's ruler. So there's a lot of this beautiful moon energy coming through. Aquarius. I mean, this could be about, the eclipse in Aquarius. The Leo moon comes first, obviously, but there's something here about victory. There's something here about victory. So let's see. Page of Pentacles. There's the Empress. Masculine and feminine showing up here. I like it when that happens because it feels balanced to me, right? Even though we got a ton of masculine energy in the cards underneath. If you take my tarot class, you know this. The cards underneath are showing you what's going on, even though you might not see it, right? It's things happening unconsciously or things happening under the surface. Page of Pentacles, Empress, Knight of Cups, Five of Swords. I getting that card a lot. The Nine of Swords, that one too. Death. This is about the end of anxiety. I feel like this whole thing about like what I just said to you about waking up and having a little anxiety and realizing that it's just growth. Okay, because I'm getting the Death card here, which is about transformation. So there's something about growth that's happening that's uncomfortable. Growth doesn't happen any other way. Okay, growth is not comfortable, even though we can like the result of it. The actual process of it might feel, you might have this feeling that someone's messing with me, someone's screwing with me with the Five of Swords, and then be worried about it. So that can be a growth experience. And FGE, as one of my teachers used to say way back in the day, effing growth experience, she used to call them. Loved her. Okay. Three of Swords. Look at this. Three of Swords, Five of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. So there's something going on here that's for our best and highest good as a collective. Sun conjunct Pluto. What's happening with power? How are people using power or not using their power? How is it tied to ego? And if that's the thing that's being transformed, right? The Page of Pentacles is about what we're learning. The Empress is Venus. There's feminine energy here, finally. And then that Knight of Cups is like romanticizing things a little bit, making it, I have to say that I see a lot of Les Mis videos coming up on my feed. And I love that musical, Les Miserables. I love the musical, but at the same time, like I can see it's the French Revolution, and astrologically that is tied to now. Okay. So that's another, a story for another day, but it's interesting that keeps showing up, even though I'm not searching for it. Right. And then I watch it and then it's more. And then I get more of it, which is fine. I don't care. I like it. So the Page of Pentacles is saying that the feminine may need to not romanticize things. Les Mis is it's a very romantic story in many ways, and there's a lot of real world circumstances and real world consequences for actions, and that can be causing a lot of anxiety because there's a sense of like I'm trying to keep myself comfortable during a very uncomfortable time. Okay, so things are changing, and like I said, the astrological pointers are really showing us that now through the eclipse in Aquarius, not really don't really care about the next eclipse all that much. I think the Virgo one, it doesn't seem like it's really difficult. But then when we get into April and then again in July, so you're going to see those time periods being very important. I'm seeing here too the Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. There's like an unfairness to this. The Three of Pentacles and the Three of Swords and the Five of Pentacles, basically like, how could this be happening, or how is this happening? Let's clarify what that is, because I do feel like the masculine energy is being gifted with a lot of downloads and aha moments and things like that they may not have had up until now. And so there's this uncomfortable time of transformation. Three of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Six of Swords. Good. This is moving out of rough waters to calmer waters. Six of Swords, the Page of Wands, about getting inspired. Some people could be getting really inspired by this time. It could be shifting out of stuff that is or situations that have been oppressive in terms of power, shifting out of that. The Judgment card, there's the Crossroads, and the Five of Wands. I'm going to take one more here. Ace of Wands. Okay. Five of Wands is about conflict, and fives are about change. So this is going to require some kind of conflict to move us into this new time period, or this new dawn, this new age. But I don't feel like this is necessarily physical conflict. This has to do with a conflict of ideas, because this is the age of Aquarius. Okay. This is the age of Aquarius. And so there are some people who are refusing to recognize that this is an age of ideas and progress and moving forward into some unknown terrain, right? And I feel like it's going to be led by ideas. The Ace of Wands, it's really going to be led by ideas. And that's something to work on in your own life, is to recognize, number one, the thing I was talking about with anxiety, to realize it's just indicating that this is uncomfortable, and that means progress, that means change. And then also getting inspired. What inspires you? Is it your art? Is it your friends? Is it your direction in life? Is your meditation process like inspiring to you, or something like that? There's going to be a lot of downloads. And I don't just mean for the masculine. What I mean is the masculine energy inside you may feel inspired by these downloads to take action. The masculine energy is about action. Okay. So that feels good to me. Let's keep going with this. Let's ask about what we don't see coming and what may be blocking things, if any. What don't we see coming, please? Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, beautiful. Four of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. There's something changing in terms of what we want as a collective. What is progress? I think that's going to be the kind of discussion that we have. Is like, okay, progress, that's a nice word, but like, what does that actually look like? And that's why I think these downloads are so important, because there's going to be lots of new ideas, and that's going to shift in terms of, that is going to shift things in terms of what you might want to manifest in your life, right? If you were last summer, this is why I did that that Leo full moon reading and talked about last summer when we had the new moon in Leo, because whatever you planted the seeds of last summer is going to now show itself. So go back and watch that. It has every zodiac sign in it. And it can show you that, wow, even what I manifested 6 months ago, I'm not sure. Not sure if that's what I want. Or maybe I'm selling myself a little short, or maybe I'm being a little bit too cautious, or maybe I'm just not thinking big enough. And I feel like that you might be getting that over the next week or so. You might have some manifestation show up, definitely by the Leo full moon. And you might have this sense of, oh, I thought this was going to be awesome. I'm so different now. I'm so different now. And that's okay. It's like being offered to you. I feel like you might already be past it. You're just kind of like, well, whatever. But it's a good reminder of like how we change even in short periods of time. So what are the blocks, please, to pay attention to? The moon. I hear Charlie snoring in his beddy. Moon, Page of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, and the Three of Cups. There's a sense that somebody else will do it, or if somebody else is doing it, that I can't do it, right? I hear that a lot. We're starting spiritual business class right now. Our first live is Tuesday, so you still have time to jump onto that if you want to. It's sort of like, I think this got going maybe in the 80s or something like that, that if you wanted to start a business, it had to be like utterly and completely unique. And if somebody else was doing it, well, that means I can't do it. And that's just really not true. You are the unique part of the business, and they don't have that. So you're doing things in a unique way, but I feel like you might be stopping yourself, especially because this moon showed up. The full moon in Leo was about manifestations arriving, and you're learning that you're learning that just because other people have opinions about something or whatever, you're getting the downloads and you're taking the action, and you may have broader insight or bigger picture thinking than the people who are around you, who are right around you. Okay. So just remember that, like, don't let people kind of harsh your buzz about whatever you want to do, because it's an exciting time. This Aquarian energy is about inspiration. It is about an internal revolution of how you're thinking about what you're capable of and what the possibilities are. And I feel like because I'm seeing divine feminine, divine masculine, the Empress and the Emperor, there's a real balance here of nurturance and also self-worth. And maybe you've done a lot of healing work around that. Self-worth and value. I know my value, and so I can take more action. This is really something that's very important. And right away, you might have some anxiety about that. A lot of people are afraid to be seen doing what they want to do or what they feel called to do. But I feel like this year is going to wipe away a lot of that. Okay. Let me get some actions and advice for you. Okay, actions and advice. 8 of Wands. The Queen of Cups. Look at that. King and Queen of Cups showing up. There's Leo, the Strength card, and the Nine of Pentacles. This is about self-confidence and telling yourself a different story, right? And whenever things kind of get in your way, you're just like, this is for my best and highest good. I don't really know the details. I don't need to know why this is happening. I just know that Spirit is always helping me. Spirit always has my back. And yes, is that Sagittarian optimism coming through? 100%. But that's a really good, positive way of seeing the reality of a situation, being grounded in the reality, and being able to tell yourself different stories. Okay. Tell yourself a story of like, hey, I can do this. I hear myself saying that to myself all the time, that when things are challenging or whatever, like, hey, you can do this. Or when I woke up with the anxiety, like, all right, this is just about being anxious about making some changes, and there's zero progress that happens in a comfort zone. Comfort zone, no bueno. All right. This July, we're going to have the nodes of the moon move into Aquarius and Leo. I will be doing videos for each of the zodiac signs on that. So, wherever it's traversing in your chart, and if you have North Node in Aquarius in your birth chart, this is going to be an important year. Okay. Or North Node in Leo, either way. But this is about telling yourself a new story. And it is about being loving, about being grounded, about being courageous. Whatever this change is that's being offered, that Knight of Cups, it could come in like a really beautiful package. It could come in the guise of like a love partner, sure, but it could also come in very sweetly and very romantically. All right. But it still is a stretch. And in the past, if you have said, oh, I'm not able to take this job or take this challenge because I haven't already conquered it. No, that's not it. The reason it's showing up is so you can conquer it. So even if you don't have a certain skill set, but you have the skill sets around it, or you have the awareness of the skill set, hey, I can learn some stuff. Page of Pentacles. All right. Some of you are very good at being self-taught about things. Job descriptions that are aspirational. Yes. Okay. Yes. There's something here about making a leap or making a big shift. And I feel like that's what's happening this year, definitely with the North Node in Aquarius. But making some kind of like, going from like level 1 to level 6 instead of doing it step by step by step. There's definitely something about jumping up, and the inspirations that come through, you should see them as validating messages that say, hey, you wouldn't be getting these messages and these opportunities if it wasn't for you. Okay. In some way, is something coming across your plate that, because of all the healing you've done, you're like, oh, there's another narcissist, not going there. That's still right. That's still doing it. That's still doing it. But a lot of people that don't already have years and years of expertise at a certain thing won't even venture into that area because they cannot have any kind of visible failure, right? Or like, I can't let anybody see me be a beginner at something or whatever it is. Like those are things that people need to get over this year, and things are being offered that will help you do that. Charlie's making a bed back there now. Okay, so next 30 days, King of Cups, King and Queen of Cups keep showing up here. And there's the Leo energy, the Sun, the Queen of Pentacles. I love it. King of Swords. Oh my word. And the Four of Pentacles. This is about like, keep your head while all about you are losing theirs. A lot of upheaval and change, a lot of terrible things happening in the world, and here in the US for sure, a lot of challenging experiences. Okay. And so this is about like keeping your empathy, and being able to protect yourself in a way that is healthy. Okay. And in a way that is aspirational, because that's what Aquarius is asking of us, is to still be aspirational and not hide under the bed. So it is going to take courage to do that, but that's what is being asked of us, especially today with this Sun conjunct Pluto. How much power, let's see, how much of your ego depends on you having the current amount of power that you have, or the aspirational power that you want? How much of your ego depends on that? That can be something to pay attention to. Messages from Spirit, please. There's the Six of Swords again. I like that. 9 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and the Hermit. It's almost like you're transmuting all of these experiences into wisdom because of this year. So even though you might think, oh, I have all this crap, all these bad experiences, all these things, it's all relevant. There's something about it being all relevant to what's going on right now. Like nothing has been wasted. None of your experiences have been wasted. None of your learning is about making you a victim of anything or very, beating you down. There's none of that. Okay. This is really about the people who, it's because look, the Eight of Wands is the inspiration coming in. These are the Eight of Wands. And then he's leaning on the Ace of Wands. So that it's all grounded. All of these messages that are coming through to you based on your learning, you wouldn't hear the inspirational messages or the insights. It would just be this random gobbledygook, right? If you didn't have the learning that you've had. And this is the Ace of Wands that he's leaning on, which is new inspiration that's coming through. So Three of Pentacles, this is about collaboration. And the Knight of Pentacles is about putting in the time and effort and being inspired to put in time and effort. More Virgo energy here with becoming this hermit. As you know, most of the folks who are on my channel or pass through my channel are actively healers and teachers, guides, mystics, shamans. All y'all are very important to this collective energy of spiritual leadership. Okay. So you can just be asking, how is what's coming through aligned with my spiritual mission on this planet? How is this? What is this tool, right? That's coming in. I'll get a sneeze. Outcome, please. There's the Judgment card again. Six of Cups, the Star, the Page of Swords, more messages, Fool. The new path is opening up right now, and things that you haven't healed yet or are not really interested in looking at may show themselves right now. Something needs your attention in terms of your healing, and could be inner child stuff. It can be about finally coming to terms with some healing, because that's necessary in order for this new path to be not available to you. It's available to you, but for you to make the most of it, right? So there's something coming through maybe over this next week that is going to show you okay, that's something that you haven't finished healing or you need to work on. And really what that's about is understanding the feelings around things, digging deep to track it back to where it came from. What wound is that? What am I feeling? Even if it's like past life and you can't track it back to an experience in this life, still relevant if it's showing up right now. So this is Archangel Gabriel sort of waking everybody up to say, hey, there's a little bit more healing here that's necessary. Let's see. Let's use this for the last piece. Okay. Let's see. For you guys, a little guidance today. Sun conjunct Pluto. Faraway places, get ready for new horizons. Traveling lightly. Consumption, consumerism, minimalism, that's playing a role right now. Fogged in, go slow, take some time, take your time. Don't feel that it's being stuck. It's just giving you some time to assimilate what's a lot of information. And ascending the mountain. Keep going forward. All right, that's a good place to end today. And I feel like there was a lot of information in this reading about where you're going, and still some things that need your attention. So I hope this was helpful for you today. Okay. Yes, definitely moving and relocating. Every time the North Node goes into Aquarius, I move. So We'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks guys for being here. Have a great day, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you later today. Thanks, Colleen.